Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie Karol,
I'm Dillon Moffitt.
and we're going to be talking about acquisition retention and the post-purchase experience and a ton about Route and what we're working on. So as I mentioned, I'm Jamie. I'm a product manager here at Route, and I work on the Discover feature. And I joined Route about a year ago, coming from Jet.com and Walmart e-commerce. And I was brought on initially at Route to lead our merchant strategy for Discover and have since transitioned into a product manager role, really focused on our user experience, our products catalog, and our overall recommendations. So really excited to share with you more about Discover.
And I'm Dillon Moffitt. I'm also a product manager at Route. I've been here about a year and a half, bouncing around different teams. I'm on the tracking and partnerships team right now that focuses on integrations and improving the product for merchants. Originally, I was at Domo and AT&T. And one thing I like about myself that I like to do is actually I'm a fly fisherman.
So what is Route? Route is actually only 2 years old. We launched in 2019, and we launched out of a personal problem or experience that our CEO, Evan Walker, had. Evan is a serial entrepreneur and has been in the eCom space for years and was traveling overseas to Italy, where he fell in love with a piece of furniture and wanted to ship it back to Utah, where he's from. And the merchant basically refused to send it overseas because he's done it plenty of times before, and pretty much every single time there was an issue that happened and occurred during that transit experience. So Evan saw this huge white space opportunity within the e-com space to launch buyer protection, where basically if anything happens to an item, we really give our consumers the peace of mind that we can help them resolve any issue within our app. And it also is really great for merchants because we put that cost back onto the customer for roughly 1% of each purchase. And typically our merchants are already offering things like 2-day shipping or free shipping, which already is a hefty cost to them. And by putting this back onto our customers, we really are helping them improve their bottom lines. And within our first year, we went from $0 in revenue to over 14 million in revenue. And we went from working with 0 merchants to over 2,000. Within our second year, we launched our consumer-facing portion of Route, which was this tracking experience. We launched an app on the Apple iOS store as well as Google Play that provides our consumers with this Postmates-like view of where is my order and when is it going to arrive. So basically, our consumers receive these push notifications when an item is being packaged in a warehouse, when it's out for delivery, and it really helps build up this excitement for this order to arrive at their front door. And within that second year, we went from $14 million in revenue to over 72 million, and from 2,000 merchants to over 7,000. And subsequently from 0 app users to over 1.3 million downloads, which was really exponential growth. And we're actually one of the fastest growing tech companies in history. We surpassed a $50 million run rate in under 2 years. And we were also on the front page of Fast Company with the title during peak holiday weekend that this is the app that's going to cure when is my order going to arrive anxiety and basically save your Black Friday experience. It also talked a ton about the Discover feature and the people behind it. My boss and our head of product here at Route was actually very early Pinterest and launched commerce for them. So we have an incredible amount of talent that's really building this unique product. We work with over 10,000 merchants. We've done over $5 billion in protected revenue. We've had over 40 million orders that have been protected, over 3 million customers that have purchased that protection, and over 5 million app downloads. And what's really exciting is that we launched in the utility portion of the Apple iOS store and have since shifted into the shopping category. And during that peak holiday weekend, we actually hit number 30 in the shopping category. So above the likes of the Zara's, Farfetch's of the world, Macy's, and all of our industry leaders, which has been incredible to watch. We also continue to go up market and work with some incredible brands such as APL, Beach Riot, Solo So, Boyish, and the list really goes on. And like I said, we really wanted to set out to solve this white space in the industry today around broken buying experiences. When customers go to buy things online, they expect that they can find everything that they want, that they're going to buy those items, and then they'll just magically appear at their front door. However, that's often not the reality. Basically, you spend countless hours in front of your computer trying to find the exact item that you're looking for, reading reviews, researching, and then you eventually make that purchase and you spend an equal amount of time sifting through your email to find, did I actually buy this item? Where is that confirmation email? When is it going to arrive? And you basically go crazy waiting for that purchase. And then you may or may not receive that item, or it might be lost for days. And it really just lacks all this communication from the merchant directly. And it's not just a customer facing problem, it's a massive issue for merchants as well. They're spending thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars on customer support costs. Customers tend to blame them when there's an issue that arises. And they're really looking for new ways to grow their overall revenue, and also ways to kind of acquire new customers or retain customers without spending obscene sums of money on marketing and retention. So Route is really about fixing all of these issues that exist. We have a modern tracking experience. We offer that buyer protection, and then also a next generation product discovery experience, which I'll go into later on in the presentation.
Sweet, thanks, Jamie. So let's talk about Track. That is what I'm over, and that's what I love about this company. As Jamie mentioned, Track is where we started at as a company. That's what Evan was his inspiration first started with. And once we started focusing on building that, we're able to then address additional post-purchasing opportunities to really increase that customer engagement and that life cycle afterwards. One thing we found in the e-commerce industry, if you look at it, Jamie, for the next slide, is far too often the customer journey ends at this experience right here. The consumer will get a tracking link that goes to the carrier's website, and that's a dead end for them. And we want the consumers to have a continued experience beyond that. We really want them to be able to really build upon your branding and build out that customer trust to really loop back into the repurchase opportunities. One thing we've noticed, and the ones that I've seen across the line from Adobe, is that consumers have a 9 times more likely to repurchase than a new consumer. So we really want to focus on these existing consumers, the repeat buyers, because it really brings up the bottom line for you. And so with this industry, 17% of volume is delayed. That really impacts the shipping industry overall, and that impacts you. And so 94% of consumers, they blame the retailer upon this issue. So that's a problem that we see, that you see, that merchants see. If you think about the past 2 years, we've had COVID that really upset the whole supply chain. We've seen the Suez Canal blockage that's really blocked $9.6 billion of potential revenue. Every single year we have the holiday issue where that really is our peak season. And additionally, every year we hear about the USPS store. They're always cutting costs, and they're also having more delays. So those really affect your shipping experience that potentially will be blamed on merchants from the consumer. My wife, she loves Instagram. She utilizes it all the time, and I tease her a lot. I like teasing her about this, where she follows a lot of influencers and companies such that her feed is really just ads. And so I asked her, hey, how's your ad feed going? And one thing she brought up recently is that her influencers, they're actually mentioning right now that, hey, you should start up your holiday purchasing, because it's going to, if you don't now, you're going to have delays later on. And so that's something already people are talking about now. And so in this industry, you have to be really proactive about your shipping updates, because if you're not, unfortunately, you will be blamed for it, and that's going to affect your bottom line. We said 80% of shoppers are likely to repurchase from a brand after they've had a bad shipping experience. And we want you to focus on these repurchases and not have any issues that potentially would hamper that. An example of this situation, and additionally, even though we want you to make sure that you address the shipping transparency, consumers are really key on being transparent of their shipping updates. They say 98% they want to be notified if there's going to be an issue in their shipping, and we're able to do that. Whereas 79% they care about 2-day shipping overall. So overall, like, this shipping process is highly important to consumers, and they're really focused on it. A merchant we've worked with is called SheFit. They're up and coming apparel brand, and they've really dialed in their shipping solution with Route, where they're able to see a lot of benefit. They're able to see this 96 customer satisfaction, but also they're able to eliminate half of their customer inquiries about where's my order at, and also to be able to not have to hire during peak period. So there's not only addition to consumer benefit, there is merchant benefit where you don't have to hire so much or spend so much on support. Once you have this proactive shipping updates set up, you really can build upon that trust and be able to make things more accessible through these updates for your consumers. And so there's a lot of different places you can add these proactive shipping updates. You can put it on the checkout page. You can put it on the web checking page. You can do email, you can SMS, mobile push notification. You have a lot of different customer personas, and you want to make sure that your updates, your shipping updates are really tailored to their needs or their wants. And also you have to make sure that these updates match your branding, your voice, your styling. And so with our tracking solution, it's really, I see it as a set of once and go solution. Most of the merchants I've talked to in my research, they go to our dashboard maybe once or maybe once a week or maybe once a month after they set up. And that it's because they don't have to go in and fiddle with a lot. You just go in, you set up your emails, your branding, and go forward from there, which is great. Once you've set this up and it's simple to use, there's a lot of benefit from it. We've seen a 400% higher customer engagement that leads the industry's other industry solutions. Consumers, they review our push notifications 7 times more frequent than emails from merchants. That means consumers are 7 times more likely to know over their shipment is at. They're really curious. They really want to know about this. They want to be able to trust the brand and have that transparency. Also, there's a 75% decrease in support tickets around where my order is. So overall, there's a lot of benefit that comes from this after a simple setup. I'm over the the Klaviyo integration that's early access, the SMS notification, email, and those functionalities really allow merchants to be able to create those communications they want, have their branding, but also with their own systems with the Klaviyo integration. And then having it accessible across all these platforms, you can really build out your brand impressions to drive these purchases. So here's an example of what some of those platforms can look like once you've added your branding to it. Since we've had all this data in one location, we're able to compile it and be able to utilize it to give product recommendations. These product recommendations are really tailored to the consumer's preferences. They further increase customer engagement because they're items that they will want. Increase the LTV. It's going to also increase the click-through rate through a customer's website through the whole tracking process. So overall, this tracking experience is tailored to bring the consumer through all these updates right back again to the beginning of the purchasing experience. A merchant that's seen the benefit from this is Art of the Tea. They're actually a local company in LA. I haven't tried them yet because I haven't been to LA recently, but I will when I go out there. And they've seen all these benefits I've mentioned. I know I've said that there is up to a 75% reduction in customer inquiries, but they're at 67, which is still great. That's phenomenal. They have 100% customer satisfactory score. And then one thing I like to point out is that how important track has been for them by adjusting their pain points. Right there, they mentioned that the shipping issues they've said has really been decreased for them, and that consumers have really enjoyed it and loved it. Once we have all of this tracking information, we're able to build out our next product line, which is buyer protection. Since we know where the products are, when they're going to be delayed, when they should be arriving, we can offer this and be able to have that peace of mind for consumers that they know that, hey, I can track my my product, but also it's protected. So if anything happens to it, someone has my back. It's that peace of mind. And this has led up to 50% increase in purchase intent. People see this and they're more likely to purchase from a merchant that has it and increases that also, which is great. We've seen billions of revenue, protective revenue that's from this. We've seen millions of customer reviews. It's overall a phenomenal product that consumers love and merchants love. And it's all through the simple widget. If you can show it right there, circle it within the checkout that consumers can easily just go ahead and add. And then a consumer then pays for it. So it's customer funded, which is nice for merchants too. After an order is protected,
Sorry, everyone.
oh, you're good. So after an order is protected, a consumer can go in and file a replacement. We call this resolution. And these hassle-free resolutions are simple to do. They take 5 seconds. And we spent 2 years over the past 2 years really dialing in this process to make it as quick and as efficient as possible for the consumer, but also for the merchant. Through this process, what we do is our system goes in and repurchases through the merchant's website or through their own catalog, their product listing on their own website, their own backend system, which then additionally causes another order in their system, so increases their bottom line. And so all this comes together as just a seamless tracking experience, product protect experience that really builds out trust and transparency for the consumer that then leads into our Discover experience that James is going to talk about.
Yeah, so with that, now on to Discover. So a lot of what Dillon talked about was our package protection and our tracking solution, which is all about increasing retention and conversion by having the best tracking experience, offering those upselling components during that, and then also just peace of mind that our package protection offers to our consumers. But Discover is really about increasing overall brand awareness, interest, and consideration, and engaging with customers where they really crave that extra engagement, and helping our merchants increase customer lifetime value as well as increase their new transactions. But with that, we really need to understand how are customers shopping today, what are their preferences, and we learned that over 40% of customers are buying more online today than they ever have before. And additionally, 50% of those purchases are happening on some sort of marketplace. And 90% of customers say that they're more likely to convert on any brand or platform if there's some sort of personalized element to that purchase experience. And the 4 P's of acquisition typically looks like product, price, promotion, and place. And people didn't really care about who a brand was, what their values were, and a lot of that has shifted. And today, the 4 P's of acquisition are a lot about purpose. Is it what is this customer? What is important to this company? Who is their founder? What do they stand for? How are they positioning themselves in the market, and where are they selling? Is that something that I align with and I believe in? And then who are their partnerships? Partnerships are a huge vehicle for customer acquisition, and one that I've seen firsthand be super successful, especially at my time at Walmart and Jet. And personalization is really at the peak of this customer acquisition. And that is why Discover is what it is today. And in today's world, it's really hard for brands to kind of re-engage, and they're constantly fighting this uphill battle around how do I even acquire this new customer, especially on these marketplaces that are so transactional and price driven. When you think of a marketplace, you typically think of the Amazon, Walmarts of the world, and you're kind of fighting for that visibility amongst your competitors. And we really wanted to create an experience that was totally the antithesis of that, one that was super organic and allowed you to really re-engage with your customer after a purchase. So with that, meet Discover. So Discover is an incredibly unique experience. And when our CEO, Evan, went out to found Route, he really had the foresight to think that if I'm creating this experience where customers are tracking all of their purchases in one place, I have all this amazing data and understanding of what do customers actually like, where are they shopping, how are they spending their money, what are their likes, what are their dislikes, to be able to create a platform that was entirely unique to every single person that entered it, and a real understanding of what the world is routing, because other customers might be influenced by that behavior as well, and also the ability for our merchants to really take advantage of a totally authentic shopping experience that wasn't a pay-to-play environment. So every time you as a consumer enter Discover, you're met with a feed that really showcases brands that we strongly believe that you'll love based off of what you bought elsewhere. We also tend to create this customer profile and understanding what you're actually interacting with in the Discover feed. So are you looking at that content? Which categories are you tapping into, so that we can create a unique experience for you every time that you enter and really build up that excitement. We also give our brands the opportunity to take advantage of this prime real estate within the Route app. We have over 5 million downloads, so the ability to be featured in our tier 1 content is really incredible. And then we also do this editorial style collections, which are really seasonal and focused on what's hot and trending in the market today. And it's really ability for the Route app to act as an extension of your store. So we give our merchants the ability to add in their brand logo, their hero image, and we newly launched this cause feature where they can go in and really share more about their brand in a very explicit way. So they have the opportunity to claim these causes, whether or not they're female founded, Black, Indigenous, people of color owned, if they're sustainable, if they're handmade, and really just sharing more about who you are as a brand. And then every time that you enter each merchant profile, it's all curated in a way that's entirely unique to you. And we do a really good job of calling that out within the experience. As you can see here on Fire Cider, it says chosen for Bryant, which would be totally different if me or Dillon were to enter Fire Cider page. And then we also newly launched the following feed. So basically any customer that has already purchased from one of our Route merchants automatically is following them as of last Monday, which is really exciting. We've already seen 60% of our customers engage with this following feed, and it's updated in a way where you stay in the know if a merchant has launched a new product, if there's a price reduction, if they launch a new collection. And over 10,000 of our customers are actually following more than 7 of our Route merchants. And at any given point, there are over 5 million app users that could engage with your brand and start to follow you, even if they haven't made a purchase from you already. So like I mentioned earlier, Route is really all about connecting this buying experience from start to finish. We help you find the things that you want and are craving, you buy those things, and then you really have that peace of mind, knowing that you are having a totally transparent experience and know where your product is at any given point. And then in the event that something were to happen to that purchase, that you can resolve it in the app and get a new order very promptly. So this is Route. Again, we have our Protect solution where you can cover any item with a Route merchant. You can track it in the app in a totally immersive way. And we give brands these customized push notifications and a really strong way to re-engage. We have the resolve feature where in the event that something does happen, that you can resolve that purchase in the app. And engage is that ability to now upsell during that tracking process. And now discover, which is really facilitating these emotional connections between consumers and brands and providing merchants with a totally new way to acquire new customers, but also re-engage with the existing ones and allowing Route to really serve as an extension of their store. So as we say here at Route, we're all about creating the best shopping experience now from start to end and from discovery to the point of delivery. So that's it. And now if anyone has any questions. So where is Route going to expand going forward? So I would say that our main focus today is really around discover and helping our brands increase their revenue and their bottom line. So whether it be through upselling during the tracking process, what's really unique about that upselling experience is because we know what people are typically buying from each merchant. If you only ordered one item from that merchant, but other customers bought item A and B together, we're able to kind of upsell and really impact your order because there's a very high chance that if a lot of customers liked those 2 items together, that you might like them as well. And then also with that discover experience, really just showcasing different merchants that we strongly believe in and align with their values and we think are really engaging. Do you partner with independent merchants selling products on sites such as Etsy, eBay? And we partner with merchants of all sizes. We partner with small, medium-sized businesses on multiple different platforms. We have integrations with multiple different platforms. So yes, the answer is yes. Do you anticipate larger shipping brands following the trend of a better tracking experience? Dillon, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, we do. We're actually already working with some larger brands and actually at larger marketplaces too, to be able to do better shipping experiences for consumers, but also work with larger enterprises to do better shipping experiences for them.
Does it make sense for your brand to coexist on Instagram shopping and Route and discover all at the same time? I would say yes. I would say that a lot of people have different mindsets when they go on Instagram shopping versus Route. And I would say what's really unique about Route is our product recommendations and just the way that our overall feed is curated and assorted. I also think that whether or not you purchase something on Instagram shopping, you can then also continue to track that purchase within the Route app. So it totally makes sense for all that to coexist.
And I also foresee like a day where potentially we offer track to marketplaces like that too.